Hello, everyone. So today I got Miss Zoe out. I decided to go ahead and get her powdered and everything. She's a silicone baby, and thought we'd just kind of chat while we do that. See how life's treating y'all. I'm doing okay at the moment. It's a little tight here and there, but we'll survive. Mainly because we got bills to pay. That's why. But yeah, no different than anyone else, I suppose. But anyway, my little Zoe is a 14-inch little baby from Valence or Valence. Um, and so I have her in a little onesie, which, yeah, she doesn't really need it. She doesn't have a cloth body to protect, but I think it looks cute on her. She does have a lot of clothes that I shrank for her, and she has a lot more that I did not shrink yet. Now, people have asked me how you do that, and basically, I put it in through a hot cycle in the washing machine, and then a hot cycle on the dryer. And most of her clothing I try to get is cotton, so I know it's going to shrink, and it'll shrink up perfectly to fit her. So that's what I do with her, because it's really hard to find clothing to fit these little ones. There's some, you can find some like Etsy and places like that, but I'm not really looking to do that right now. So I'm just going to buy her regular little newborn or preemie and shrink them down. Sometimes when you shrink a preemie, though, it gets too small and then you can't use it. So I don't like to do that. So I buy the newborn size and shrink that down, and then it fits her perfectly. But she is a replica of the Coco Malou, which was one of the original Reborn sculpts in vinyl. And I've always wanted one of those, but I could not find one that I was willing to pay for that was in good shape. And as far as I know, they don't still make that sculpt in vinyl, but they are making it in silicone. So here we are. So the thing with the silicones is that they get sticky after a while. So you have to keep put powder on them. They have powder made just for silicone dolls. It's a matting type powder. And that is kind of pricey for me right now. So I use cornstarch. And it seems to work just fine. I mean, Zoe's going on 2 years old now, so obviously hasn't done her any damage. So what I do is I put it in a little container like this, and it has a little little lid. It's just a little jelly jar, but I use it for this. And I use a soft bristle brush to brush it onto her. And so far, so good. It's worked well for us. So I just kind of brush it over and just let it kind of fall off. I do have her on the same cushion that I used for all the dolls. And I know there's things that you're not supposed to have silicone and vinyl touching, blah, 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 blah. I know that. But I don't seem to find anything that tells you exactly what will happen to them. The only thing that I found was that some people felt that maybe it was because you didn't want them to touch because the paint on the vinyl would come off and stick to the silicone doll. So that's the only reason that I could see to not let them touch. Now, silicone dolls are anatomically correct, so due to YouTube's issues, we will not be showing that, of course. But she does have quite a bit of detail. She's got the wrinkle on the back of the head, just like a newborn. And she has some really textured feet. Her hands are cute. They're not quite as detailed, though. But I'll show you a little bit of stuff that way. And show you her ears. Look at that ear. It's shaped very sweetly. I like it. And these are her feet. See how wrinkly they are? I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. Back up. There we go. And the bottom of the foot is very detailed. So as if you just want like a little starter silicone baby, or if you're getting one for a child that's just, you're pretty sure they're going to destroy a $5,000 doll, so you'd rather get them something a little bit different, get them one of these, because they can play with it. you still have to be careful, but it's not, if it gets ripped or it gets damaged, it's not the same. You're not out $5,000 to replace it or just to be out of it. So, yeah. I do try to care for her as if she were a high-end doll, and maybe that's why she stays in good shape. I try to take good care of her. And, that's the other thing with a lot of the dolls is if you will put your time and effort into them as if they, even if they're not, as if they were high-end dolls, they will last you a lot longer. Now, I don't know for sure myself how long these dolls last. I've only been doing this about 6.5 years. So I don't know how long these dolls last. But I do know, like on Macari and on at thrift shops and stuff, you can find reborn dolls. They may not be in the best shape, but they're there. And I don't know how long ago they were. So, they could very well be 10, 15, 20 years old for all I know. So, my intention is to keep them until I die, which hopefully won't be too soon. But I wouldn't, I'm happy with my collection. I still have 2 more to put together, and then my collection is completely done as far as new dolls and that kind of thing. Unless I find something just so spectacular I just have to have, which right now I've not found that. So I'm going to say that will be my collection from now until my version of eternity. So, I like my little collection. I've always liked to collect dolls, but I just kind of got away from it as I got older. And then I ran across these dolls back in 2012. No, it wasn't. It was in 2001, actually. But at that time, they were very pricey, and I didn't have the money for it, so I just didn't get one. But I just kind of put it in the back of my mind, that was out there. And so then when I did finally get to where I could afford them, or afford some, I, started collecting. So now I'm at 55, and that's going to be my number. So now this little outfit that I'm putting on is simply just a onesie, and I'm going to put it over top of the little white onesie, which is not necessary. However, I think it looks cute. So, yeah, so I started collecting in about almost 7 years ago, 6.5 years. So, and I started originally because it was suggested to me for therapy for depression and anxiety, because they are weighted, just like a weighted blanket. And the silicones are usually pretty heavy too. Like Zoe here is at least, I'd say, 4 pounds. And her sister that I got from Ivita, another Amazon silicone baby, actually weighs about 10 pounds. She's a big girl. But I have 2 cuddle babies that are silicone made by artists, and they also weigh around 5 pounds. So they get a little hefty, but I don't mind. I like them. It adds to the realism, the feel of them. So now since this is kind of still big on her, I just makes a couple folds in it, and you never know the difference. So, but I did get her a little headband. There. And I got her a little bee lovey, because it is summertime after all. So there we go. And we'll just turn her so that you can see her a little bit better. There she is, Miss Zoe. She's ready for summer. And we'll talk to y'all next time.